call her crazy, you can call her a lot of things. She is a great, long-lasting champion. She just keeps winning.
For over a decade, fans have speculated, dreamed, and campaigned for the return of AJ Lee to the WWE. A pivotal figure in the evolution of women's wrestling, AJ's departure from the ring in 2015 left a void that many argue has yet to be filled. Her unmatched charisma, promo skills, and trailblazing presence made her a standout at a time when women's wrestling was still fighting for proper recognition in WWE. But what makes her possible return so compelling today? Why is the buzz louder than ever before? The AJ Lee CM Punk WWE Triangle, a complicated history. One of the primary reasons AJ Lee's return seemed like a fantasy for so many years stems from the fallout between WWE and her husband, CM Punk. Punk's infamous departure in 2014 was laced with controversy, lawsuits, and very public criticisms of WWE's medical staff and creative direction. For a long time, this deep rift was believed to have closed the door on any possibility of AJ coming back. But tides turned dramatically in late 2023 when CM Punk made his shocking return at Survivor Series. The pop from the Chicago crowd was deafening, signaling that if Punk could come back after everything that happened, anything might be possible, including AJ's own return. Punk hasn't been silent about this either. In several interviews and public appearances since his WWE comeback, he's openly expressed a desire to see AJ back in the ring. He's praised her legacy and suggested she still has stories left to tell inside the squared circle. This direct endorsement from her husband only adds more fuel to the speculation. Locker room support and superstar advocacy. It's not just fans clinging to the hope of AJ's return. Numerous WWE superstars, both past and present, have voiced their admiration for her and their desire to share the ring with her. One of the most vocal advocates has been Bayley, who has often cited AJ as one of her biggest inspirations. Naomi also made headlines when she revealed in a Q&A that one of her career goals was to wrestle AJ Lee before she retires. "I can't picture retiring without stepping into the ring with AJ at least once," she said. This sentiment underscores how AJ's influence stretches beyond fans and into the current locker room. Wrestlers who grew up watching her now fill WWE's main roster and consider her a pioneer who helped lay the groundwork for today's women's revolution in wrestling. Zelina Vega's fantasy booking, a homecoming at SummerSlam. Another strong supporter of AJ's return is Zelina Vega. In a recent interview with 10 Count Media, Zelina shared her thoughts on what an ideal return for AJ could look like. She painted a vivid picture of AJ making her WWE comeback at SummerSlam, which is set to be held at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, AJ's home state. "I think especially because she's from Jersey, if she came back at SummerSlam, it would be colossal. That would be insane," Zelina said. "I feel like the fans who were so hungry for CM Punk to come back are the same ones that are going to be so hungry for her to come back." Zelina's fantasy booking struck a chord with fans, especially those who witnessed CM Punk's return, and could imagine a similarly thunderous reception for AJ in her hometown. Given the emotional and symbolic nature of such a return, it's not hard to see why this scenario has fans buzzing with anticipation. The reality check: AJ's busy life outside WWE. While the hope remains strong, reality presents a more complicated picture. Since leaving wrestling, AJ Lee, real name April Mendez, has built an impressive post-WWE career. She's a best-selling author, having released her memoir, Crazy Is My Superpower, to critical acclaim. The book chronicles her struggles with mental health, her journey in the wrestling industry, and her path toward self-empowerment. AJ has also made a name for herself in the comic book industry, co-writing for Glow and launching her own projects. In addition, she co-founded a production company that focuses on female-driven narratives in both film and television. Balancing these responsibilities, along with advocacy work in mental health, has made her schedule incredibly packed. Despite that, reports dating back to early 2024 have suggested that WWE is open and willing to offer AJ any role she wants, whether that be in-ring, managerial, or creative. The ball, it seems, is firmly in her court. Dominik Mysterio's family, finances. A deeper dive. While AJ Lee speculation dominates the headlines, another intriguing story this week comes from Dominik Mysterio, who continues to blur the lines between kayfabe and reality in fascinating ways. Dominik, the son of Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, has leaned into a heel persona that claims betrayal and resentment toward his family. But in a recent interview with Intoxicaos, he may have shed light on a real-life family incident that fans can't stop talking about. Dominik recalled being paid $5,000 for one of his early WWE appearances as a child. At the time, fans saw a young Dominik appear in his father's dramatic 2005 storyline with Eddie Guerrero, a high-profile angle that involved a custody battle. But what happened to that money? According to Dominik, he was only allowed to spend around $400 on a bike and some Universal Monster collectibles during a trip to Toys R Us. When he asked to go shopping again, his mother allegedly told him the money was gone. "It probably all went to my sister's college fund," he joked, referring to his sister Alia. Whether this was meant as a full-on work, a partial truth, or genuine frustration hidden in humor, it opens a fascinating window into wrestling families and the blurred lines between storyline betrayal and actual family tension. Fans are now eagerly waiting to hear Rey Mysterio's side of the story. Seth Rollins' mysterious faction and the Sami Zayn tease-over on Raw, more subtle long-term storytelling is unfolding with Seth Rollins and his apparent effort to build a new faction. The May 12th episode featured a pivotal segment in which Seth and Braun Breaker were confronted by Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn. With Paul Heyman watching from the sidelines and unable to offer physical support, the odds were stacked against Seth. This segment led fans to speculate whether a third member might be joining Seth's side soon. Even more tantalizing is the theory that Sami Zayn might be that third man, despite currently standing on the opposite side. Sami and Seth have a complex history that dates back years. Both respected in-ring workers and locker room leaders, their personal friendship has been mentioned on television before. Their children play together, and their camaraderie off-camera is well documented. During the faction's debut, Seth even offered Sami a spot in the group, an offer Sami rejected. That rejection led to an immediate beatdown, planting the seeds for possible future regret. The Shield parallels and symbolic imagery. Some eagle-eyed fans noticed something even more intriguing. During the confrontation on May 12th, Sami Zayn was standing in the exact same position, in the ring that Seth Rollins stood during his infamous betrayal of the Shield back in 2014. This mirrored alignment raised eyebrows, especially considering that Sami had a steel chair in his hand, just like Seth did during that shocking moment years ago. The symbolic placement and camera work weren't lost on longtime fans. Was this an intentional nod? Could it foreshadow a betrayal by Sami Zayn against Punk and Jey Uso in favor of joining Seth's new stable? Furthermore, the backstage segment featuring Seth, Braun, and Paul Heyman also bore a strong resemblance to the cinematic shots used during Roman Reigns' Bloodline segments. The careful staging, dim lighting, and body language mimicked that style closely, reinforcing comparisons between Seth's new faction and Roman's dominant reign as tribal chief. Could Seth be building a new bloodline? The comparisons to Roman Reigns' faction are starting to feel more intentional than coincidental. Rollins, who has long been viewed as WWE's workhorse champion, may now be setting himself up for a new kind of dominance, one rooted in mind games, betrayal, and strategic alliances. If Sami Zayn joins Seth's side, it wouldn't just be a betrayal, it would be a calculated career move. After all, Sami's association with the Bloodline elevated him to new levels of popularity. Joining Seth could offer a similar trajectory. Fans are now watching every movement, every glance, and every backstage segment with bated breath, trying to predict the next big twist. Conclusion: wrestling's never-ending web of drama and hope. From the hopeful chance for AJ Lee's return to the mysterious motivations of Sami Zayn and the emotional storytelling of Dominik Mysterio, the world of professional wrestling is once again delivering on every front. These layered narratives, combined with real-life implications and symbolic imagery, remind fans why they love the genre. It's not just about athleticism, but the human drama underneath. AJ's return still hangs in the air, unresolved but more plausible than it's been in years. Seth's faction teases are drawing smart comparisons to the past, and Dominik continues to straddle the line between storyline and personal truth in fascinating ways.